welcome to This Week on 33rd Street. I'm sports editor Holden McGinnis, and joining me today are senior sports editors Stephen Tidings and sports editor Ian Winnick. We're here today to talk about Penn football. So Stephen made the long drive up to Dartmouth last week, and Stephen, can you walk me through the game?
Yeah, so it started out pretty well for Penn. You know, the first drive of the game, they got down pretty far. It stagnated around the 30-yard line. They missed a field goal. Ultimately, that kind of momentum led into their second drive, in which Al Torgerson was finding receivers, and then he found fullback Matt Schwartz out of the backfield for a 4-yard touchdown. Mm-hmm. And so things were looking up. And then on the next drive, Dartmouth drives down, finds their way to the end zone, and then just things come unravel for Penn. Interception, Dallin Williams rushing touchdown. Few drives later, Penn fumbles, Dallin Williams rushing touchdown, like 5 plays after that. And then Williams got another rushing touchdown, his third, just before halftime, and Penn went down to the half 28-10. They didn't put up much of a fight in the second half. You know, in the rain, they were kind of forced to focus on short passes, and they didn't really have a running game going also. So it was just kind of a mix of bad elements. Their defense wasn't making enough tackles, and just ultimately Dartmouth just kind of was ahead of Penn in all facets of the game. So, you know, it ended up 31-13. It might not have been truly that close, and it was, you know, third straight game. Penn just did not have it.
Yeah, clearly a pretty brutal one up in Hanover. But coming up this weekend. Penn's taking on Fordham up in the Bronx, and Ian's going to be there. And Ian, can you sort of walk me through what you're expecting out of this game and what Fordham's like?
Well, the toughest part of my fast last week for Yom Kippur is probably watching Penn football's offense struggle to move the ball against Dartmouth, and it's not going to be any easier against Fordham this Saturday up in the Bronx. Fordham has surrendered only 34% third down conversion rate. And on offense, they've averaged a minimum of 42 points per game in all 5 of their wins. They're ranked number 18 right now. Granted, they did have a 50-6 loss to Villanova, a team that Penn was very well acquainted with 2 weeks back.
Penn actually played better against Villanova than Fordham did. You know, looking
if we're speaking in technical terms.
Relativity.
Fordham's passing offense is very, very dangerous. You have quarterback Mike Nebrich, a UConn transfer at 6'1", 205. He's a really big guy, and what he does is he can just make every throw possible on the football field. He's in the top 5 in the FCS in both passing yards and passing touchdowns. And his favorite target, another UConn transfer, is a senior receiver Bucky Jones Jr. Yes, he's the son of that Bucky Jones, the corner for the Patriots. And those two hooked up for a nice touchdown against Lafayette last week that made it onto SportsCenter's top 10 place. They can really sling the rock all over the field, and Penn secondary, which is struggling, is going to face another huge challenge.
Yeah, it seems like we could be in for another rough weekend for Penn football against Fordham. And with that said, we're going to go around with the predictions. Stephen, can you start us off?
Yeah, I don't see a win for Penn this weekend. I think Fordham's offense is going to pose another big-time problem for them, and I'm going to say Fordham wins 45-21.
And I don't know, I see this one pretty much like the game against Villanova, another ranked opponent, and it's going to be a pretty tough one. I'm going to call the same score as Villanova, 42-7 for Fordham. Yeah,
41-7.
41-7. Oops.
That's not your point.
And I think the only question in this game is when is Al Bagnoli going to pull the starters and not risk further injury to players heading into the brutal Ivy stretch of the season. I see Fordham taking this one about 52-17.